students. Just want to ask, based on the selection criteria of the chancellor, why has the university chosen head of state?
That's a decision that's made. The rotation happens every year, and it's done alphabetically. So it was our turn because the last chancellor came from UA. His term finished on the 30th of June, and it's the head of state who automatically then becomes the chancellor.
Is this the first time a head of state from someone has been installed as the chancellor for?
No, it would have been the same case 12 years ago. But as I said, it's unique because for the first time both the vice chancellor and the chancellor are here.
So how will such decision benefit the USB summer campus?
The decision that the chancellor,
Yes.
I think it's the prestige, I mean the honor. Just imagine that you're going to get your degree, and once you're going to receive it not from somebody else, but you're going to get it from the chancellor, who's your head of state. I think there's a lot of pride in that, and just the respect for that position. I think it adds so much in terms of stature for the university and for the students, the pride for Samoan students. One of the things I forgot to say is that, of course, for the first time we're going to have a PhD student graduating on Friday. And just imagine that, this person has so much pride that they wanted to get their degree on stage in Samoa because he knew that the chancellor would be from Samoa. So there's people have a lot of attachment. They want that, the love for the country, the love for the institutions. I think that really is a very powerful symbol of unity and a powerful symbol of regionalism for us.
The head of state's contract is coming to an end after the parliamentary session. Would there be any changes to his appointment today?
Look, that is a government decision. It's got nothing to do with the university. So, we will respect whatever the government tells us.
But what if the Samoan Parliament decides to change the head of state? Would that also change?
Yeah, because it's not the person per se, it's the institution. So it make no difference.
Professor, I know has been a lot of reports on the financial status of the university, and I believe an economist from Fiji has suggested that the solution for this is to increase the fees for the students at the university. Would that be something you consider?
No, so what he is, this is Wadan Narsi, who wrote an article in the Fiji Times. I actually gave an interview on Radio New Zealand where I responded to it. I think what Wadan is saying, in normal times, he's saying, look, why do we always have to worry about government grants? Because government grants are given to subsidize the fees of students. So Fiji's contribution is the largest because they have the single largest number of students. So what Wadan is saying is, over time, the dependence on government grants has decreased, and students are paying for their education, right? Even if they're sponsored by the government or if they are privately funding their education. So he's saying we should just increase the fees and not worry about the subsidies and just go to a higher fee structure because that's fitting for a premier institution in the region. Now, I think if we were in a pre-COVID situation and COVID hadn't happened and the economies hadn't been affected the way they were, I might recommend to council that we should think about this option. But I think at this particular time, when we know that so many of our economies are finding it difficult, so many people are finding it difficult to study and to find resources just for other things. I think it would be very wrong for us to take that strategy. So in short, I won't be recommending that to the council. I think until our economies are more robust and be able to, to get back to pre-COVID, and as as tourism has begun already, since borders open, economies are picking up. I think this is not the time for that kind of solution. But it is it is one option that the university could think about in the future.
So you talked about the expansion of the university in Samoa. As we know, it's not quite a big campus in Samoa. In the long term, are there any plans to expand infrastructure there? And if you are going to expand infrastructure, how many students are you looking to aiming to enroll in the Samoa campus?
It's like a chicken and egg problem. If we had more numbers, of course, we would expand more quickly. But we are working very closely with the government to try and see how we can accommodate more students. And that's where we are at this moment. We're really trying to find ways of which we can expand that particular center. I think when I visited there 4 years ago, I probably would have wanted to come home and cry because it was in such bad shape. It's a real testament to our campus director and to the people sitting behind me, that they actually have made just a huge difference. I mean, they've actually physically gone there and done the hard work, done the painting themselves, and they've really, really changed it. And I think I'm just so proud of what they've done. Actually, when I went there recently, with the Minister for Education to look at the facilities, in my head, I still had it as if it was 4 years ago. And so it was a really, really pleasant surprise. And everybody started saying, this is not as bad as you said it was. So that just tells you how committed the staff of USB really are. And they're committed to making sure that students in Savai'a students.
Is there a certain amount of students that facilities can take for like a limit?
I think because students aren't studying non-stop 24 hours a day, there's a lot of capacity. People can come in and out, and we encourage that sort of rotation.
Professor, I know you have a lot of plans to expand the Samoa campus and to offer more courses that we can hear. How supportive is the government of Samoa in help assisting to,
Oh, I think they're extremely supportive, and including the assistance with expanding our supply facilities. We're exploring that with them. They have just been fantastic. I couldn't speak more highly of the support we have. And NAPO, I think that, I expect even more support, given that our Chancellor is from Samoa, the Prime Minister herself has had such a long association with this university. I think every time I've spoken to her, her love for the university comes through. And, I think she's a real regional champion. So I expect that, we will just go from strength to strength.
Wapoala na fisuia inga e tulanga tau kufai o panabo. Ona e la wadua e fina ngalo tata. Le fai ngā mahalo, le fai ngā mahalo. Le luma na ia o wino na tu. Nona winga la wasu awa la tere ana ia. Sau wale tani ila kona winga au wa. Ole luma na ia o so se atunu. Ole tulanga na hea le fai na ta umo mua. Ile ta mawhainga leo sa vai. Awa te ana sika fina. Ole la. O le USB o lo isa vai, o baba anua ai I le nota o le ofisa ona le ei fale tusi. O inana le toe au mai le lava le akta le o le ngā lua fatasi. O le tūlanga foi le sa Samoa ia le whima professor te loa e o mana o te le e whakatara atu o mai e se le mana ia te atu atu i tala i tau ni a taini nei o talo o tapu ai ma whai e whiu sana ina ia mo mai se soani o wai le nā mai rāna ia e vai a talo tupu le ngata ia tātou i le investi e whawhewha i tātou o tunu atoa a whaira le tau au au ma e tau ona ai whare le se tonu whai whare se fōwhona a lango me la se mālo mai whawhu o mānei o tele ai e mawhai o ni whawhe atu ia watch this space so i titi ati no mai a le tūlama le i ona whao whorona o tātou i le o nanga le la hawhu se vai while we don't want to have it just lip service that what's good for Polu is good for survive. We want to actually put our money where our mouth is so that people actually see it materializing. So it's tangible and not just a lot of hot air.
Thank you.
Thank you.